Nardems with hilarious consequences.
And as I bet one or two of you have already twigged, this is going to be a mainly affectionate and fairly non-critical glance back over the situation comedies Thames Television's been shoveling out for, lo, this past going on for 21 years. Now, obviously, a lot of things have happened over those 21 years. For one thing, some of us have got 15 years older. For another thing, the TV Times now prints a full plot of any forthcoming situation comedy, unlike the early days when they'd simply mention what went on in the first scene, then say, with hilarious consequences. Harry unexpectedly brings the boss home for dinner with hilarious consequences. Sally forgets to post Fred's pools coupon with hilarious consequences. Oedipus finds himself attracted to an older woman with hilarious consequences, hence our title. So let's start by looking back at a few consequences that did turn out tolerably hilarious.
But the Ropers will go spare if they find out we're keeping a dog.
Hey, listen, hurry up with that, Jo, will you? She's beginning to sniff at my fingers again.
Oh, hello.
Hello, dear. I was wondering, could I borrow just a little drop of milk?
Yeah, sure. Robin, can you find a drop of milk for Mrs. Roper?
Oh, yes, just a minute. Keep her in the bathroom, rather, and keep her quiet, right?
I had a drop, but it went off. Oh. Yeah, well, you see, our fridge defrosts every time we flush the toilet.
You get a lot of that in these old houses.
Yeah.
Is that enough?
Oh, that's lovely, dear. I mean, it's only for his tea. Mr. Roper likes a milky tea with his dinner, you know. Oh. You've been to the wars, have you?
What? Oh, yes, it was bitten. It was bitten by Chrissy. Chrissy bit it.
Well, he shouldn't have put it in my mouth.
Ah, I see. Fun and games, eh? Oh, is that one of your recipes? Oh, it does look nice.
Yes, that's Boeuf bourguignon.
Oh, is it? Doesn't look a lot for three.
Leftovers. Leftovers. Yeah, he was just about to throw it away.
Yeah, there was far too much for us three.
Oh, no, dear, don't do that. Oh, no. I mean, that would be a terrible waste, what with you being such a good cook and all. I mean, you must have spent hours over that.
Well, I did, but I really don't think
No, really.
No?
No, come on. I'll give it to Mr. Roper. You know, make a little treat for him. I'll warm it up for his dinner. There we go.
Well, it's been lovely to see you again, but
Still go to bed for a friend? Any time you're in London, you said.
Yes, but that was before.
Little present for you. Before what?
Well, I'm engaged to be married. Thank you.
Oh. Well, you might have written.
Good Lord, I couldn't write to all of you. Let me rephrase that.
I shouldn't bother. Congratulations.
So, you see, thank you. I mean, you can't. I mean, she's a little bit jealous as it is. And if she were to actually find you in my bed, she might just possibly misunderstand.
So it's the big elbow. The old heave-ho, tossed aside like a worn glove.
Exactly. Beautifully put. Now, look. Let me telephone a hotel for you. And then you...
Hello?
Judy. This is Judy, my fiancée, and this is Alison.
Of course, you must be Dennis's wife.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Timothy, oh, hello. It is. This is Judy, my fiancée, and of course, you know Alison. wife.
Well, this is the kitchen.
You're joking.
At least it's functional.
Functional? What a liberty they got calling it a fully equipped kitchen.
Stroke bathroom.
What?
Kitchen, stroke bathroom. It says so in the description. See?
Don't tell me this is the bath.
Don't be ridiculous, Sid. Of course it isn't. That's the boiler. This is the bath.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's very design centre, that is. The latest in modern living, the open-plan bathroom, combined with a Victorian sink and a antique dishwasher. With a portable zinc bird bath.
Yeah, but looking at it this way, it's got certain advantages.
Yeah, go on.
No, but I mean, where else can you take your bath, sitting in front of the fire, sip your cocoa and watch television at the same time? That's every modern convenience.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me, we got one.
One what?
A loon.
One? We got two.
Well, that's handy, because I could just use... I'll be right back.
Here.
Hey?
It's not up. It's
What?
out.
Oh.
Yes, I think it's through here. Oh, there it is. Well, that's one. I'll go and find the other.
Don't bother.
Now, if you could find me a job...
Mr. Shelley, I am trying to help you. What did you like best at school?
Putting in my hands up Beryl Wilson's skirt.
I do not wish to know about that.
No, neither did she. Story of my...
Who was your last employer?
The Fairy Queen.
Mr. Shelley.
It's the name of a magazine. I didn't choose the title.
In what capacity were you employed?
Poet.
Is that a joke?
Not when your name's Shelley, it's not.
So, you're a poet.
Not now, I'm not. I'm retired.
Mr. Shelley, I cannot enter your usual occupation as retired poet. Have you done nothing else?
No, well, you haven't got to accept work outside your profession, have you? That's the rule.
You mean you've never done any other kind of work at all?
I did pack beans once for a while.
So, you did accept work outside your profession?
Oh, no, this was before I was a poet.
Well, what were you then?
When?
When you packed beans?
I was a bean packer.
Now, you're trying to be clever, Bradley.
No, I'm not, Inspector.
Why won't you be just a bit more cooperative?
I don't like the system.
It's a system which is paying you enough to live on, mate.
You don't like that, do you?
No, I don't.
Oh, so you don't like the system either.
James Shelley, single, 14 Pangloss Road, Northwest 6, no usual occupation.
That's me.
I shall put my report in, Mr. Shelley. I think it's only fair to warn you, as we are unlikely to support an able-bodied man of your age for much longer.
Goodbye, Inspector.
Mr. Shelley, did you go to Bell Street School?
How did you know?
My wife went there.
Really? What was her name?
Beryl Wilson.
Yes, I think we're of one mind on that. You know, to nail this show together, I had to look through something like 250 situation comedies, or as we call them now, sitcoms. It always reminds me of some kind of orthopedic underwear. I'll confess that watching that number of sitcoms isn't something I'd really recommend. It brings on a condition known to medicine as sitcoma. The main question that I got asked afterwards was, had I discerned any single attribute or driving force that unifies all of Thames situation comedies? Well, the answer to that was definitely yes. There is one thing that seems to fuel every sitcom Thames turns out. It's this stuff.
Come along then. Where's the tea?
Is there any tea going? I'm gasping.
Have you got time for a cuppa?
Would you like a cup of tea? Can I offer you a cup of tea or something?
Tea, Mrs. H?
I brought you a cup of tea.
Now I'll go and pour a cup of tea.
They do us a cup of tea, Paula.
Oh, I love a nice cup of tea.
Come and have a nice mug of steaming hot nuts wing. Tea in our very own bed.
Sydney.
Diana Coupland and the irreplaceable Sid James. Remember somebody saying that his face looked like a cheerful kneecap? Well, let's proceed now to Rule 38B in the Situation Comedy Handbook. When in doubt, have a misunderstanding. Now, in real life, of course, a wrongly understood message, a misheard instruction, a garbled telephone call, any of those would lead to a punch-up, a divorce, or at the very least, a general election. But in the far more amiable world of sitcom, all of them cheer up a storyline no end, a point we will obviously now proceed to demonstrate. The first case history being a moment from a 1970 episode of Father Dear Father, where Richard Wattis, playing a local vicar, takes time off from the Harvest Festival to meet a couple who've come about a christening. Unfortunately, he has the mistaken notion that Patrick Cargill and his ex-wife have come about their wedding.
Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon, Vicar. Patrick Glover.
How do you do?
And this is...
How do you do?
How do you do?
Oh, we're here to...
Oh, yes, my Virgil's just been telling me all about you. Do sit down, will you? Lovely day, isn't it? Now, Patrick Glover, could I have your address?
21 Ingram Avenue, Northwest 3.
Northwest 3. And your name, my dear?
Mossman. Barbara Mossman.
Barbara Mossman.
It should be Glover.
Well, it will be. It will be. Goodness, you're anxious, aren't you? Now, I'm fitting you in at 2:30 on Friday. Will that be all right?
Oh, yes, that's marvellous.
She seems to think she'll be able to change her name to Lula or Rain in the Face.
Oh, no, I like Barbara.
Karen.
No, Barbara, I think it suits you. Now, about your wedding.
Our wedding?
Yes, your wedding. The banns have been read and all that sort of
Of course,
thing.
yes, but I mean, does that matter?
Oh, yes, very important detail. Now we come to the age of the young lady. Shall we just put it down as over 21?
Oh, no, under 21.
Your gallantry's running away with you.
Of course, we really should have had this done 17 years ago.
Oh, should you? I don't think we need go into that.
We're only doing it now for my mother's sake, you know. She's a little old-fashioned.
Oh, quite. Well, so am I, if it comes to that. Oh, could I have your address?
Oh, yes, of course. 3A, Beaufort Mews, SW3.
Yes, W3.
I expect you think it's rather odd that we aren't living together.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm not one of your swinging vicars.
There is one small point. I don't know whether it'll matter or not, but I mean, our divorce won't present any difficulties, will it?
Oh, please, first things first. We haven't even had the ceremony yet.
Room service going to help you. Coffee and sandwiches. What sort of sandwiches? Well, you can have them made of anything you like. Right, sir.
I'll take the order. What is it?
Room 539. Coffee for two and some macaroni and jam and custard sandwiches.
What are you talking about?
That's what he said, macaroni and jam and custard. Well, these foreigners have funny tastes.
Room 539, Guten Tag, mein Herr. Could you tell me what you want your sandwiches made of, please? Thank you, sir. Macaroni with jam and custard. He said make 'em only with ham and mustard.
We've explored each other's minds.
Yes?
Well, I mean, don't you think it's time we moved on?
Are you really serious?
Oh, yes, I'm serious.
All right, then.
It's great.
You won't expect too much. It's my first time.
No, don't worry. You are kidding.
No.
What, you mean I'd be the...
Yes. I know it's old-fashioned, but I've been saving myself for someone who's really serious about me.
Well, Angie, yes, I am a bit serious, a bit.
Some men just think of women as sex objects.
Yes, they do.
And Sister Teresa always said it was wrong to, you know, unless you were married.
Oh,
Nowadays, I think it's perfectly all right even before we're married.
Now, look, Angie, there are a lot of men in this world that you shouldn't trust, you know? I mean, they're like a spider in the mid... No, don't undo anything else.
Is it your first time, too?
Well, I mean, it's the first time that I've, for the first time, you see. And, you see, oh, my God. I think men and women should get to sort of know each other first, you see, before they get married.
We've explored each other's minds.
No, I didn't mean that, you see. You see, I'm not ready.
Oh, you've got all evening.
No, Angie, for marriage!
Well, come along. I'm sure it's splendid inside. It isn't.
Well, Jane, there's plenty of scope. Did I tell you she was going to make it look more like home, with things on the walls and ribbons on the curtains and... Yes, well, the great thing about caravans is the way everything's stored and hidden away. Simon, open that door, dear. It's always a surprise what you find in these things.
I'm
sorry.
I'm all right, Mum. I'm all right.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm fine, honestly.
Yes, well, you've done very well, darling. You found a plank.
All I need now is to find the aspirins, I think.
Yes. Now then, Janet explained to me about this. You see, you just fit this in here, like this. Whoops. There we are. And hey presto, your dining table.
You mean somebody has to stand and hold it while we eat?
Oh, silly dear, of course not. There must be something. Yes, I think... Yes, that's it. Yes, it goes under there. Like that. There you are. Safe as houses. All ready for our first banquet.
That's a clip that stands up just as well today as it did in 1974. I know that because we stood it up. Now, I once saw a typical sitcom fan defined as someone who loves all those warm-hearted shows about families but hasn't phoned his mother for 3 weeks. Now, it's an observation that seems particularly relevant to the subgrouping of family relationship sitcoms that Thames seems to have made a corner in, the triple generation game, where we see child, parent and grandparent living under one roof. As for instance...
I just don't want you to get hurt. I have been through what you're feeling, Claire.
Have you?
Yes, love. You're very like me in some ways.
Oh, please don't say that.
I am not.
Mummy, I'm only 18. The only thing that keeps my generation going is the thought that we're going to manage better than your lot.
So you did talk? Yes. At least I managed to find her this time. Usually when I want a serious talk, she disappears. Yes, she goes out to the garden shed. Does she? What's the attraction of the garden shed? You aren't there, dear. Thank you, Mother. So, what did she tell you? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Maybe I'd better have a little talk with her. Oh, I don't think we're reduced to that, Mother. Well, if you say so. I do understand, you know. I've been through what you're feeling, Sarah. Oh, yes. We're very alike in some ways. Mother, please don't say that.
Fact is, I thought you might like to know that Emma and I have been sort of mulling things over, and we feel we might like to have a more permanent relationship.
When you say more permanent, do you mean you want an extension on the lease you already have?
I don't think you should call it an extension. No, it's a good deal more than that.
Oh, I'm glad.
See, basically, it all comes down to economics.
Does it?
See, I will have finished my articles in a couple of years, and then, with any luck, I'll be a solicitor. And I feel we should wait until then.
Wait until you what?
Get married.
Ah.
I'm sure you waited till you were fully qualified before you got married.
Yes, I did. But then I wasn't living with Mrs. Fields in the meantime.
Oh, no.
No, but darling, there were those 2 weekends when we went to Little
Yes, but we weren't living together as man and wife.
No, but we did sign in as Mr. and Mrs.
That's got nothing to do with it. As I was saying, Peter,
Dinner will be
I
ready
am prepared.
7:30. Oh, I am so sorry. I know you have company.
This is Peter, Emma's boyfriend. Peter, this is my mother, Mrs. Penrose.
How do you do, Mrs. Penrose?
So you're the man who has been living in sin with my granddaughter.
Mother, please.
I'm very much in love with your daughter, Mr. Fields. And with yours too, Mrs. Fields. And with your granddaughter, Mrs. Penrose.
Makes it sound like a harem.
And I want to do the honourable thing.
A bit late in the day, surely.
I don't wish to offend you, Mrs. Penrose, but I'm afraid that times have changed.
Not for the better.
People live together for a very sensible reason. Think how tragic it would be if Emma and I had got married when we first met and were now getting a divorce.
There's nothing tragic about that. I've been divorced for nearly 40 years.
But you wouldn't recommend it, Mother.
If you were married to your father, you would.
Sit down.
What do you know? I'm going back to bed. I'm not...
Sit down. I want to have a man-to-man talk to you.
What are you talking about?
When are you and Vera going to get cracking?
Cracking? What do you mean, cracking?
You know what I mean.
Oh, blimey, you changed your tune a bit, haven't you, eh? When we were courting, it's keep your dirty hands off my Vera.
Well, you're married now. It's legal, isn't it? So when are you going to get cracking?
We'll start a family when we're ready.
I'd like a little grandson. Or a granddaughter. I don't mind which.
There's plenty of time to start a family.
There might be for you, but I'm not getting any younger. Old age is creeping on me. I won't live forever.
No, but knowing you, you'll have a damn good try, won't you?
Something ought to be done about these blasted salesmen. What do you want with a set of children's books, for heaven's sake? If I had my way, you'd send them back.
Yeah, and if I had my way, you and Leslie'd have a couple of kiddies to read them.
Oh, God, don't bring that up again.
Well, I don't know what you do in bed together. Well, there's nothing wrong, is there?
Wrong?
Well, I mean, Leslie's doing everything he ought to, isn't it?
What are you trying to say?
Your marriage, has it been consecrated?
I should hope so after 7 years.
Oh, well, that's no criterion. It's happened before. Nellie Lucas, she kept her bird at bay for 12 years. Poor blighter mother died in ignorance. If her cat hadn't got hold of his pigeons.
What on earth's that got to do with it?
He ate them. Poor old Bert was heartbroken. Anyway, that night she took pity on him and let him into her bed. Of course, she soon found out what she'd been missing. She had 6 kids in 6 years.
Yeah, well, you needn't worry about us. We believe in family planning.
Family planning. Less planning, more family, that's what you want.
We'll have kids when we're ready.
I blame all these electric blankets.
I'm glad we placed a preservation order on that one, aren't you? Didn't Irene Handel have a wonderful smile? Anyway, in part 2, we'll be continuing this revision course on the sitcoms fabricated by Thames Television in their tireless efforts to please the public and win awards. But to take us into the break, here's a small but choice assortment, starting with a reminder of what John Alderton looked like back in the days when he apparently took turns wearing Engelbert Humperdinck's hair.
Woman's Globe, the glossy for the liberated lady. Anyone needs up.
Oh, well, that shows promise. Now, just a minute, Jane. Admit one.
You'll think of something.
Good evening.
Good evening. Woman's Globe party, please.
Invitation, please. Sure. Straight through, madam.
Evening.
Evening.
Woman's Globe party, please. Invitation.
Sorry, old Sam.
Your invitation, sir.
Oh, sorry, the invitation there.
Morning, everybody. Right, fall in alphabetically by height. Come on, boys, here. Come on, move yourself. Let's be having it. Come on now. 2 ranks. That's it. Move yourself. I don't suppose you did national service.
Hadn't been born.
Or see excused on medical grounds.
Right then, double top to win. Just a...
It's a fly. I didn't want it to distract your attention. You better take that again.
What?
Well, you're obviously a bag of nerves. Use the latest mark.
We'll let that stand.
Hello? Your father's teaching me a new game. It's called Miss the Board. Just a minute.
Now, look, Pete, I don't want another word. Not another word, right?
All right. I won't tell you if flies are undone.
They're not.
That's why I didn't tell you they were.
Item 3. Point of order, Mr. Slinger. These additional, possibly dangerous security duties have not been approved by the union.
Or the chickens.
As shop steward of Newtas...
You're the only one in it.
Ah, no, there's 2 of us now.
What? Who'd be stupid enough to join up with you, eh? For goodness sake, he'd have to be pretty thick, wouldn't he? Daft as a brush he'd have to be. I mean, what stupid mind this idiot would... It's you, isn't it?
Go easy on clutch, right?
Right. Tom?
Yes.
I know the,
Yes.
you know, the, little acceleration thingy.
Yes, yes.
I'm not quite sure about the,
Oh, clutch is on the left. Okay.
Right.
Left?
No, I think I've got the hang of it now, Tom.
Evening, Raymond.
Oi! Who are you?
You just shouted down your boss's ear hole.
Never you mind what I did or I didn't do. And my name ain't Raymond.
What is it then?
Richard.
Ah. Dick. Couldn't happen to a nicer fella. Let us in, Dick.
You ain't going in there.
Look, I've been parking a car and with a group.
Now listen, you. Don't you get stroppy with me.
Look, what is it with you nightclub? Is this a nightclub or what?
Yeah, a members-only club, and you ain't a member.
Well, all right then, all right. I'll join. How much?
No, you can't join.
Why can't I join?
Because, pal, I says you can't join. You can't join, because I don't like your attitude.
Well, I can't think of it. I don't like your attitude neither.
I couldn't give a monkeys now on your toes before I give you a slap.
Oh, yeah, you come near me, pal. I'll hit you so many times you'll think you're surrounded.
Oh, yeah? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Fancy your chances then, eh?
No, I don't.
Are you applying for a job too? Yes. Do tell me, if you're trying to place that tie, is it Christ's? No, it's mine. Christ's College, Cambridge. Oh, I see, yes. Well, it might be. I bought it in Woolworths.
Hey, now that looks good enough to eat.
I cooked it from a real recipe. See? It's just like in the picture.
Looks great. And you look great, too.
So do you, Murray. Probably.
Hey, this is really nice. Do you know what I mean? Do you know, if I'd known you could cook, I'd have asked you to marry...
How is it?
Oh.
Do you have chips? Curry powder, 1 to 2 teaspoons. 1 to 2 teaspoons? I thought it said 12.
Mr. Rush, every bank manager has a favourite client. One that he likes to indulge, one that he is pleased, proud, even amused to have as a customer.
Really?
You are not mine. I have fantasies, wild fantasies, of stuffing pink form 117B overseas invoices into every orifice you have.
I don't have an orifice. I work at home.
If only his dad was alive.
Just another of the hundreds of times a week when I want to ask Henry.
Must be hard with the major decisions.
It's not the major decisions. Usually it's just trivial things, practical things. Does the right-hand main switch control the old round pin socket in the spare room? You know, it's things like that that could get me into spiritualism. Hello, Henry. Should I change the antifreeze in the car? 1 knock for yes, 2 knocks for no.
And welcome back to this revival meeting. Please don't place too much importance on the fact that those last 2 excerpts showed a couple of gallant go-it-alone heroines momentarily weakening under pressure, because one of the most rewarding results of our delvings into sitcom archaeology was the number of times we came across moments where the oppressed sex not only reared up and hit out, but even the most unexpected victims moved out of soppy into stroppy.
And are you planning to consult the rest of your family about any of this?
Well, of course I am, and you have every right to be angry.
Not angry, Philip. Hurt, confused, betrayed, perhaps, but not angry.
Supper!
Bracken House, Cannon Street, EC4. That's near you in the city, isn't it, William? Will you drop me off there? I've got this enormous canister of nerve gas to deliver. CO2 or cyanide, something like that. Anyway, I am going to spray it through the letterbox, and within about 4 minutes, the entire staff of the Financial Times will be found slumped over their typewriters in printing presses. Yes, the grand presses will roll to a standstill, and tomorrow morning a mighty cheer will go up from 1 million housewives throughout the land as they find their husbands beginning to talk to them again.
What?
I shouldn't be doing this. My back isn't what it used to be.
Your front isn't what it used to be either.
Better.
You know, when I'm dead, you can dig me up in 10 years' time, and that coffin will still look as good as new.
It won't.
I'm telling you it will.
And I'm telling you it won't.
All right, clever clods, why won't it?
I'm having you cremated.
This is it, isn't it, Norman? Life. This is what it was all for. Why I slept with bitter aloes on my fingernails and Victor Mature under my pillow. And learnt to jitterbug and fail my school certificate. And had to wear national health glasses through eating too many dried eggs. And let you put your hand up my dirndl skirt at the festival in Britain when my mother thought I was potato picking with the young conservatives. And married you. And had a honeymoon in Sheffield, because Denis Compton was only 3 short of his century and you didn't want to miss it. And brought up a daughter without a single fish finger, and taught her the hula hoop and a sense of values. Then watched her run off with the first spotty-faced hooligan who showed her his Roy Orbison.
Sitcom noir, that, the point where situation comedy shades off into desperation comedy. Well, this would seem to be the time to acknowledge the contribution made by the man in charge of all the sitcoms that went out of Thames during our 21-year span, what I suppose you could call the sit-commissar. His name is Philip Jones, a diligent and likeable gent who knows the craft and techniques of situation comedy like an old taxi driver knows the back doubles. And one of the things I learned from him was that because sitcom storytelling requires an audience to concentrate on what's going to happen next, one of the hardest things to bring off is any scene where characters spend time discussing something that happened beforehand or in the distant past. So let's recall some instances where that kind of reminiscing was brilliantly executed.
They hated us. And you know why? Because you deceive yourself, that's why. You think all that chat of yours helps. All those lies about me being the Siamese twin of the Archbishop of Canterbury. Adds a bit of colour. And telling them I had a sex change, it's embarrassing. Houdini didn't need that sort of build-up, and neither do I.
He used to actually escape.
So did I. I got out of this sack today.
Not in front of the same queue that saw you get into it, though. It was a second house.
I'll be better next week. My straitjacket will be back from the cleaners.
And we should go back to the strongman act, tearing telephone directories in half.
What? Oh, no. No, that doesn't impress people. Not a page at a time.
Or sword swallowing, that's got colour. Yeah, have a practice with that.
Get on!
Look, you've just got to face it, mate. Times change. You see, it's all youngsters nowadays with guitars down the underground.
I performed down the underground.
Yeah, and what happened? Into the sack, toppled down the escalator, straight onto a tube, finished up at Cockfoster's.
Who handled your divorce?
I got my load of legal rubbish out of Yellow Pages. Pratt, and Malone. I got Malone. He was the biggest prat of them all. You know, he asked me the most personal questions. Quite crude he was. He had the sauce to ask me if my wife and I enjoyed healthy, normal sex.
For goodness sake, never.
He did.
Enjoy? He actually used the word enjoy?
He came right out with it. And that man is a solicitor. I told him straight. I said I had far too much respect for my wife ever to enjoy anything of that nature.
Do you remember when you first came to us, Rolf, at the very beginning, how I said to you that we'd do all we could to help you? Anything you wanted, anything you needed, you only had to come to us, and the company would help you out. You remember that?
Oh, vividly.
Yes. Well, that just shows what a load of old cobblers we used to talk in those days. This company couldn't give a gnat's fart about your miserable little words. I treat myself to a rude word every day, and that was it.
Let me give you a bit of advice. When I was your age, that was just after the war.
Which one?
I was infatuated with a girl called Henrietta. I used to lie on the roof of the bicycle shed and throw conkers at her. My technique with women lacked a certain finesse in those days.
I don't know.
And she threw me over for the butcher's boy. I still can't think why.
Perhaps he had bigger conkers.
If ever a line was a stone-bonk certainty, that one. And what it brings us to, of course, is the fact that double meanings are to sitcoms what car chases are to thrillers. And here at Teddington, which is also, it must be remembered, the spiritual home of Benny Hill, they've learnt the great truth about double meanings, which is that they're only irresistible when they're tumultuously plural, one following right on the heels of the other in the fastest possible succession. So why not see how many you can count in the batch of excerpts coming up next? I clocked 27. So if you make it more, you've either got quicker reactions or a seriously dirty mind. Start now as this man arrives with quite the wrong idea about an ad he saw in a local shop window.
Oh, excuse me. I'll come about the card in the newsagent's window.
Oh, splendid. Do come in.
Well, I'll be off then, Mrs. Alcock, and thank you very much for everything. Makes your eyes water.
does she?
Sit yourself down. That's it. You're the first person who's come in answer to my card.
What about him?
Oh, he's been with me 3 months.
Lord almighty.
Yes, I mean, he's been very satisfactory, but he suddenly got obsessed by new techniques.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I mean, one of the things he suggested would have brought the ceiling down on us.
He's only a little fella too, isn't he?
Coming in and out of this office, measuring the size of it, seeing how long it took me to come across.
Disgraceful.
Yes, well, anyway, on to you. Now, have you done this sort of thing before? In an office, I mean.
Oh, no, never in an office. I've been wondering about that.
Yes, well, I can show you the ropes.
Oh, no, I'm not interested in that sort of thing. How much money is it?
£16.
Oh, I can't afford that.
Oh, no, I pay you.
Yeah? I've been looking for someone like you all my life.
This stuff's got a life of its own. Morning, Mr. Neville.
Morning. How's your rock cock?
All right, don't stand there. Go and fetch the others.
Oh, right on.
Oh, I can't get over it.
Can't get over what?
Your face.
Well, it's not as bad as that, is it?
Oh, no. You're the splitting image of your dad. Oh, absolutely. Chip off the old block.
You knew my dad for a long time, then?
Yes, I was his sugar boiler for over 20 years. God rest his soul.
Tell me, how did he,
He died on the job.
Well, that must have been nice for you.
It was here in the works. He was pulling it when he went. You know, it's a technical term in the industry. It's pulling the rock lengthways to measure it.
That's a relief.
It was too much for him. He hadn't got another pull left in him.
Am I to understand, Superintendent, that you have not had me in here regarding my application for a transfer?
I have not had you in here regarding your application for a transfer. I've had you in here regarding the activities of your maniac wife.
Parking tickets again, sir.
Your Elsie, Sergeant Marble, has had the crass audacity to slap a couple on the city's civic vehicle. The mayor's Austin Princess this morning.
No man is above the law.
Couldn't have been gone for more than a couple of seconds. He'd been out performing a civic duty, officiating at the opening of the new brewery. On the way back, he had recourse to avail himself of the new municipal superloo.
Yes, well, he would have, wouldn't he, sir?
He couldn't have been in there for more than a couple of shakes. And while his back was turned, concentrating on the task in hand, as it were, your Elsie whips her wallet out and bungs a couple of parking tickets slap bang underneath his pride and joy.
Oh, my God.
I'm referring to his windscreen wiper cord.
There's Dart there if you want him.
No, thanks. As a matter of fact, we'd rather have a couple of birds.
Well, it just so happens I think I can fix you up.
You mean you can fix us up with a couple of birds?
Yeah, I do it for most of the regulars.
Can the brewery object?
Wants to sell the beer.
I'm not surprised.
I only started it off as a sideline, but there seemed to be quite a demand for them.
Always has.
Especially around about Christmas. Everybody seemed to want a bird at Christmas.
Well, you couldn't find a better time, really, could you?
I fixed the vicar out with a beauty last year.
Vicar?
Yes. Him and the curate share one every Christmas.
Very kinky.
I have one myself every Sunday.
Get away.
Yeah, nothing I like better than a bit of breast.
It's worse than Peyton Place.
How many birds have you got, then?
Oh, I keep a couple of dozen on the go.
He's got muscle that don't even show.
Do you want one then?
Yeah, well, yeah, two. We want one each.
Any particular kind?
No. As long as they're not boilers.
Oh, they're in their prime.
Get away.
Yeah, that'll do, that'll do.
Yeah, I'm afraid they're not dressed.
Oh, that's even better.
Quidditch.
Oh,
yeah,
right,
Quidditch.
yeah.
Oh, well worth it. There,
So,
well.
right there. Cheap, isn't it?
Here we are then.
It's a nice toy, Mildred, but it's not the same. I mean, if Geoffrey came home and found a toy wife in bed, he'd soon object. George wouldn't. It's just that he's not very sensitive in certain areas.
Yeah, same as George.
He means well, but he's forgotten what it's like to be little.
With George...
Who else could achieve a double meaning without speaking a word? Now, we'll be employing the matchless Miss Joyce again in part 3. After all, this is a Youth Opportunities programme. But meanwhile, it's once more into the break, dear friends, this time with a few further examples of non-verbal comedy.
You want that new church roof? Watch this next shot. Coming, Monty.
God, is this the best I can do for you?
All right, lads, it's war. I'm not being made a bloody fool of by a bunch of bloody woodworm. I think I'll just reconnoitre up the flank here. Should be all right. Make sure that human beings have superior brains. Ask anybody. Should be... Mummy, Mummy! I'll teach you, Richard, never underestimate a wriggly enemy. Bit of rear guard action, I think. You never get up this far, do you, lads? Too fat to climb up here, aren't you?
Next we have
Sandra.
Bonjour, Sandra.
Hello, Kit. First-time caller. I'm ringing with a consumer complaint.
Go on.
Well, yesterday I got this T-shirt for £4.99, right? And the first time I washed it right, all the colours ran and ruined the rest of my wash.
Well, that's exactly the kind of substandard manufacturing we want to hear about, Sandra. What make of T-shirt was it?
A Kit Curran is King T-shirt. You know, one of those you advertise.
I'm sorry, Sandra. You seem to be on a very bad line. Precisely. Perhaps you can call back some other time.
Obed begat Jesse, and Jesse begat David the king. And David the king begat Solomon of her that had been the wife of Uriah. And Solomon begat Rehoboam. And Rehoboam begat Abiah, and Abiah begat Josaphat. And Josaphat begat Joram, and Joram begat Uzziah. That should be about right. I don't want it too hard boiled.
Hey, that reminds me. I've got something for thee. Now, then, what about that lot? Hey?
Oh, Walter. Oh, I couldn't, dear.
Yeah, it's only a few blooms. Go on, take 'em.
Oh, they're beautiful. I say, you've been and put a card in and everything. Yes, to Cyril with deepest sympathy.
And you can answer the telephone.
Hello. St. Peter's in Hampstead.
Is he?
This is Philip Roth coming to you live. Oh, yes, I did. Well, we would like... What? Hello? Oh, look, I'm afraid you've got a cross line. A cross line? I was already talking to someone and you cut in. Well, I know you didn't cut in. It was the equipment. But... Could you please put your phone down, madam? I want to make a call. I'm terribly sorry. Of course it's not your fault. I do apologize. I'm very bad-tempered these days. Ever since my wife left me and I gave up smoking. Oh, well, that's... well, it was about a year ago, as a matter of fact. That's no problem. I mean, I can cook for myself. There's a laundrette quite near. I mean, not that I ever thought that sort of thing was exclusively Ellen's... Well, since you ask, I took it quite badly, yes. No, children. Look, it's very good of you to take this interest. Oh, I see. Oh, how dreadful for you. Had you been married long? Oh, Lord. What, and this happened nearly every night? What, wait, the judge said that? Yeah. Oh, I see. Oh, you do visit him? Yeah? Oh, well, no, not conjugally. Well, I mean, one wouldn't expect. Look, what's your... Now, my name's Philip Roth, R-O-A-T-H. Hello, Lillian. Hello, Lillian. Oh, that's a lovely name. Look, whereabouts do you live, Lillian? Maybe we could... Hello? Hello, Lillian? Oh, no!
Peter Tilbury, the man whose sitcom life is littered with emotional banana skins. Did you know, by the way, that if anyone in a sitcom has to mention a telephone number, the producer always checks with British Telecom it's one that doesn't exist? Because the moment it's uttered, dedicated nutters all over the country immediately rush to dial it in the hope of speaking to some completely fictitious character. Anyway, into our next batch of recycled pleasures, in which a selected few of those characters offer others various forms of advice or instruction, starting with a couple who'll really put your memory on rewind.
No publicity, that is my motto.
Oh, well, personally, I'd rather risk the publicity than jeopardise my chances of winning.
What are you talking about? I got the same chance of winning.
Don't you believe it? Look at Manny. Do you know what happens to coupons with a cross on them?
So tell me.
They throw them away.
Michigan.
So that's the reason.
Look, do me a favour. I'm not interested in any of your mad Irish theories, huh?
It's not a theory, it's a fact. Look, why do you go on a coupon every week?
What do you mean, why? To win £250,000.
There you are. Right. Now, how do you know that they pay out that kind of prize money every week?
Because I read it in the paper, that's why. I saw it last week. It said, Butcher from Battersea wins £250,000. There was a picture of him in the paper. You even saw him getting a cheque from Shirley Bassey.
Exactly. Now, if that man had put down a cross for no publicity, he would have got no publicity. You'd never have known about it, would you? Now, if everybody put a cross on for no publicity, nobody would ever know if anybody ever won. So, nobody would go on a coupon. The pools would go bankrupt. Therefore, all the coupons with a cross on, they throw away.
Problem is, you see, I still feel the same way about her.
Oh, it'll pass. Believe me, you'll forget her. There's a girl I was crazy about once. Hardly ever think of her these days.
Who was that?
My wife.
It's no use. I'm in love with her.
Since when?
No, not your wife, Judy. Half of me still wants to marry her.
Listen to the top half, you fool.
Cows are waiting to be milked. Don't look at me, mate. I don't know how to milk a cow.
Well, now's a good time to learn. There's nothing to it. Just sit there and pull.
Pull what?
Look, you know, Sid. Underneath.
I don't have to do that, do I?
What did you expect to do? Stand it over a bucket and pump its tail up and down?
All right, mate, I'm not doing. I'll go and feed the chickens.
Sidney, we are in this together, and you have got to pull your weight.
All right, but I'm not pulling anything else.
Well, why not?
Well, Blamish, right, is it? I mean, a cow's a female and I'm a male.
What are you talking about?
Well, for example, I mean, if it was a woman, I'd get arrested.
If it was a woman, you wouldn't be arguing.
Can you cock your leg over? I've got some sticking plaster somewhere. Huh? Whoa. This is all pre-national health, you know. This stuff. It's all on prescription nowadays. Oh, God. If I was palm mad, I could wipe out the Olive Basingstoke with this lot. Now, okay. Oh. Sterilising tablets for Sharon's feed bottle. Oh, those 3 o'clock in the morning feeds. Well, I should have some iodine somewhere. Just a minute. Would you credit it? Now, I've been looking for that for years. That is my old rust remover.
If I sit here much longer, I'll need it.
I don't mind. Help is at hand. Cotton wool. Cotton wool. Cotton wool. Man, here, just... cotton wool. Good. There's a clean bit.
My skin has a sort of translucent quality, don't you think?
Yeah, well, you can't help that. It's your age. You know?
Linda Barron with another fondly remembered star. Incidentally, did you notice how careful Harry Corbett was not to reveal the brand names on his sterilising tablets and rust remover tube? In those days, you see, sitcoms were so punctilious about not doing any Bakshi advertising, a props man often used to go around with a paint pot disfiguring the names on any branded goods on the set, which is why an actor I knew who was playing a breakfast table scene suddenly found himself confronted by a cereal packet labelled Elog's Own Legs. But a sitcom rule that's still observed is the one we're illustrating next, that when it comes to comedy construction, frustration is always funnier than fulfilment.
Robin, do you think I'm being unreasonable?
Yes.
What?
It's 2 o'clock in the morning. You're still talking. That's unreasonable. Now, either marry me or go to sleep.
All right, I will.
Good. Come on.
I will marry you.
That's great. That's... You're not,
No.
Then, I mean, what's made you change your mind?
Well, everyone keeps on at me. You do, my father does. Besides, I love you.
Oh, and I love you too. Oh.
No. Not until after we're married.
So, why are you in the doghouse then? I'm not in the doghouse. We're starving for Oxfam.
Oh, I see. What? Money in the box and bread and water, all that cake.
That's it, yeah.
Blimey, I couldn't do it, you know.
I don't think I can do it either. Mind you, if I had a mate living right next door, a good mate who had pity on me, I could nip in occasionally for a side of beef or something.
Well, anytime I like to.
Anytime?
Yeah.
Now. It's all right, I got my own bread.
That's all right.
Yeah. Have a good tuck in.
One banger?
Yeah. So make a pig of yourself.
Okay, matey. Look at that. Hey, it's like a blooming dream, isn't it?
Sydney!
Had a nice day, then?
Traffic not too bad, I hope.
Did the central heating man come as promised, the liar?
Were your sandwiches all right? I'm sorry they weren't real crab paste. You can only get crab paste.
Has your leg been any better?
Has your leg been any better?
That's good.
That's good. £3.87. And all I've got is things to cook your supper with, season it with, and wash it up with. All I haven't got is any supper. Do you fancy mashed Brillo pads and tinfoil?
Good girl.
I think I'll make a nice cup of tea, then kill myself.
Yeah, that's the spirit.
Why couldn't you bring me some breakfast in bed?
I wasn't in the mood, George. You know how it is. I mean, sometimes one just isn't in the mood. Isn't that right?
I see, it's tit for tat, is it? I've got to sing for me supper, have I?
It's breakfast, George. And singing isn't involved.
I'd get better treatment if I had a cold nose and dropped hairs all over the place.
You have, and you do.
Poor George, one of the few men who consummated his marriage with a handshake. Now, it wouldn't be fair to put together this kind of retrospective without paying our respects to a group of below-the-title actors and actresses whose presence in a sitcom episode every writer welcomes. They're the great dependables, members of a sort of Thames repertory company, like the lady who gets her comeuppance from Joan Sanderson in the opening clip of this representative bunch.
Of course, when my daughter Tricia was burgled, the thieves got away with over £30,000 worth of silver.
Really? How careless of her to leave so much small change lying around.
Annabelle, you're saying that with the 2 for the price of 1 coupon and the 6pence off leaflet and the double your money back offer and the special introductory
And the 20% off sticker.
yeah, you're saying that we owe you 4pence.
That's right.
Nice. We'll think of something.
Oh, I will think of something.
Sorry, but I had to call. I've just heard the news. Oh, I am sorry, Les. It's awful, it really is. How will you manage? Well, you won't, will you? Oh, it's terrible. What will you do? Well, there's not much you can do, is there? Oh, it's dreadful. People shouldn't have to suffer like this.
Does that mean you're going?
Here, listen. I found out who the new manager's going to be. Slinger from Surbiton, old swiney Cecil. I knew him when he was a trainee. God, he's an evil bastard. Thing is, elegant, conceited, a real slave driver. Never married. Rumour has it that he's a raven.
Morning, Fred.
Morning. But with the heart of gold underneath it all.
You told him Nigel was going to be away for 18 months and you're surprised.
Oh.
Oh, yes, exactly. You have just put yourself on the fair game list. Widows, divorces, girls whose boyfriends are out of the country. To your average man, i.e. all of them, you are fair game. Do you know, at my husband's funeral, I was chatted up by one of the undertakers.
How horrible. What was he like?
About 6'2", fair hair, blue eyes. Spoke with a Scottish accent. I didn't really take much notice of him.
What do you think of me as?
My mate, that's what you are.
Thanks, son.
Tommy, seeing as we're mates, what are you going to buy me for my birthday?
I've told you, you're not supposed to ask what you're going to get.
Yeah, but if you was going to get me something I didn't like, then I could tell you, and you could get me something I did like.
Look, you'll get what you're given.
As long as it ain't roller skates.
Why? Have you got some?
Now, what, my dad's getting me a pair.
Oh, you... Hang about. You told me your dad was dead.
Well, he's not exactly dead. Not yet, anyway.
What do you mean, not yet, anyway?
My mum says he will be if she ever gets her hands on him.
Why, well, where is he?
He's in Leicester.
Oh, I see. He's working away from home.
No, he's living over the brush. You know, living in sin.
Are you having me on again?
No, honestly, he's trying to woo me Auntie Marilyn. Well, she's not really me Auntie Marilyn, but that's what my dad told me to call her. You should hear what my mum calls her.
Try reproducing that kind of thing with computer graphics. Anyway, there it is then. Situation comedy. As Dickens almost said, it was the best of Thames, it was the worst of Thames. At best, the shows fulfilled what is basically the purpose of all comedy, which is to cheer people up. And at worst, well, they did provide something for alternative comedy to be an alternative too. So let's tie a bow around the whole package by summoning back some of the most durable of the Thames sitcom performers to prove once again that the finest of situation comedies are not about situations. They're about people. See you.
Good morning, Mrs. Redway. We're collecting for the jumble sale.
Oh, yes, yes, morning. I'll get it. It's all ready. All right. Well, I'm afraid this is the best I could dig out. Yes, I do seem to be putting on a bit of weight, don't I?
Yes. Well, you'd know best about that, of course.
I really must do something about it. One good thing.
Yes?
I do know what causes it. I've been having too much of it lately. Starch.
Now, Mr. Gagnon, what actually are your educational qualifications?
Yes, well, you know, I think that personality and a lively mind, you know, they're far more important than mere academic.
Yes, no qualifications.
I have got an O-level in woodwork.
Not a lot of woodwork in investment consultancy.
No.
No. C'est la vie. However, Mr. Pressingham.
My name is Johnson. Mr. Pressingham is dead.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. May I offer my sincere condolences?
He died in 1790.
I see. I'm a bit late.
Yes. I presume you've had some experience of double-entry bookkeeping.
Well, you know, as I said before, I think personality and a lively mind.
Yes.
No experience.
Look, the point is, Mr. Johnson.
Look, please, may I be frank?
Very well, Frank. Richard. Now, you see, Frank, I'm prepared to put myself out.
It would save us calling the commissioner.
Well, I'll be off then. You know, I was very good at raffia work at school. Perhaps you'd like to sort of put that down as well. So sorry. Sorry. So I'll be hearing from you, Frank. Will I? And goodbye. Goodbye, Mr.
Pullet.
Mr. Pullet, yes.
Where are you, blooming old wrecker? I'll kill you, that's what I'll do. I'll wait for him. I'll have him. Oh, blimey, he can't seduce my wife just because we're national health. My love for you is true and sure, and through the years it has been pure. Lust. Lust. Typical. To the only man in my life, hope you like the gift. That's Jean's handwriting. Gift. She's buying him presents. That's where the housekeeping money's going. A smoking jacket. All these years she's known I wanted a smoking jacket. Now he's getting it. He's not content with me wife, he wants me smoking jacket as well. I'll teach him. That'll teach him, good. He's not going to do much smoking in that.
Yeah, well, I hope that you liked it, dear.
Sid! What are you doing here?
I found out.
Oh, what a pity.
We were trying to keep it from you.
I'm sure you
I wanted it to be a surprise.
It was.
Well, now you're here. You might as well take it with you.
Pardon?
Happy Father's Day, darling.
For me?
That's what you've always wanted.
Is he?
You're a lucky old devil, aren't you?
Yes.
And don't worry, darling. They said that if it doesn't fit, they'll change it.
I wouldn't bet on that.
George!
Good morning.
Mr. Foreman, good morning. Where are they taking that caravan?
The breaker's yard. They're going to crush it.
George is asleep in there.
I don't remember the name of the firm, but I do know it was in Crescent Avenue.
Crescent Avenue. There it is.
Can't still be in there, can he?
He's a very heavy sleep. Oh. George!
Surely that would have woken him.
George!
Get Mildred?
George! Oh, George! You should have been in that caravan.